Over 100 million people. That is the number sitting inside the combined impact zone of what is developing across the United States over the next several days. And the most dangerous part of this setup is not today. It is not even tomorrow. It is Tuesday, when an atmospheric boundary pulls summer-level moisture into the Midwest at a latitude and a time of year that almost never sees it. But let's walk through this correctly, because the days leading up to Tuesday all matter. Each one loads the atmosphere a little further. Each one sets the stage for what comes after. Today across the central and southern plains, Iowa, Nebraska, the Texas Panhandle, the Ozarks, the threat is marginal. Isolated thunderstorms with golf ball-sized hail and winds in the 50 to 70 mile per hour range. Not a life-threatening outbreak. But there is one element today that deserves specific attention. A conditional tornado threat northwest of Kansas City if discrete supercells manage to form along a surface boundary. Low probability, but the conditions that make it possible are worth monitoring through the afternoon. Also today, across Nevada, Idaho, Oregon, and California, a marginal severe weather risk is in place from a low-pressure system developing in the desert southwest. This system is what ejects eastward and fuels the severe weather downstream across the plains later in the week. The West Coast storms today are the engine starting. The plains and Midwest are where the power gets delivered. Saturday brings the setup into sharper focus across West Texas. A slight risk surrounds the Midland area. Supercells capable of 2-inch hail and 70 mile per hour winds. And by the evening hours, these storms cluster. They organize into a line and begin pushing northeast toward Oklahoma City, Wichita Falls, and Abilene. Now, Sunday is where I want you to start paying close attention, because Sunday introduces an element that makes the rest of this week significantly more dangerous. Sunday afternoon brings scattered severe storms to central and east Texas. The threat during daylight hours is organized but not extreme. Large hail and gusty winds across the corridor. But Sunday evening, after the sun goes down, the setup changes. Supercells re-spark. New discrete rotating storms develop along and ahead of the boundary in the Wichita, Kansas through Abilene, Texas corridor. And these are nocturnal supercells. After sunset, baseball-sized hail, 70 to 80 mile per hour winds, and tornadoes. Nocturnal supercells are categorically more dangerous than daytime supercells for one simple reason. You cannot see them. There is no visual warning, no ability to look at the sky and make a decision. The tornado on the ground 2 miles away looks identical to the surrounding darkness. The only warning you receive is the alert on your phone. That is it. If your phone is silenced, if it is in another room, if the volume is low, your warning system has failed before the tornado even forms. If you are anywhere in the Wichita through Abilene corridor on Sunday evening, charge your phone before dark. Put it in the room where you sleep, set it to maximum volume, and identify your shelter location before you go to bed. Do not try to solve this problem at 2 in the morning when a warning sounds. Monday shifts the threat northward. The low-pressure system tracks into Minnesota and begins organizing the atmospheric environment across the Midwest. The severe weather risk on Monday is real, stretching from Owatonna and Minneapolis southward through Des Moines. But Monday's threat is highly dependent on the exact timing of the upper-level trough arriving from the west. If the trough arrives early and aggressively, Monday could be a significant day. If it arrives late, the peak energy arrives after dark, and the threat profile shifts. We will be watching this closely. And then Tuesday. This is the day. A warm frontal boundary lifts northward across the Midwest on Tuesday, and that warm front is carrying something that does not belong in the Midwest in the middle of April. Dew points in the mid-60s, surface temperatures well above seasonal norms, and the jet stream overhead providing the wind shear that tilts and stretches the rotation in rising thunderstorms into organized, violent supercells. The corridor at risk on Tuesday runs from Minnesota and Wisconsin southward through Michigan, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. Think about those states for a moment. This is not the open plains of Oklahoma, where tornado warnings are a familiar part of life. This is Chicago. This is Milwaukee. This is Detroit. This is Columbus. These are densely populated urban and suburban areas sitting inside a significant tornado threat on Tuesday. 45 million people live in and around the cities inside Tuesday's threat zone. 45 million people who may not be accustomed to treating a tornado warning with the same immediacy as someone who grew up in Tornado Alley. The instinct in these areas, when the sirens go off, is sometimes to go look out the window. That instinct needs to be replaced with a different one. Go to the lowest interior floor, away from all windows, into a bathroom, a closet, an interior hallway, and stay there until the warning expires. There is a specific danger associated with tornadoes crossing urban environments that is worth naming directly. In the open plains, a tornado in a field can be tracked by storm chasers and meteorologists with clear sightlines. In a city, the visual tracking disappears. The tornado moves through neighborhoods, around buildings, across highways. Debris from structures becomes a secondary hazard, extending far beyond the tornado itself. A tornado crossing a major metropolitan area does not stop being dangerous when it moves past your block. The debris field it generates can injure and kill people who were never in the direct path. If you receive a tornado warning in an urban area on Tuesday, shelter immediately and shelter deep. Tuesday is also when warm front tornadoes are most likely, and warm front tornadoes are the most dangerous tornadoes per warning issued. They form close to the boundary, often in areas of rain, low visibility, and reduced visual cues. The tornado may already be close by the time a warning sounds. Warning times for warm front tornadoes are routinely shorter than for classic plains supercells. Have your plan ready before Tuesday morning, not Tuesday afternoon, before Tuesday morning. The hail threat on Tuesday is also significant. Very large hail, including baseball-sized stones, is possible with the strongest supercells tracking through Illinois and Indiana. These storms will be well organized and capable of maintaining their intensity for extended periods as they track northeast across the populated corridor. And the wind threat. 70+ mile-per-hour winds from discrete supercells crossing densely populated urban corridors will produce widespread tree damage, power outages, and transportation disruptions across a large portion of the upper Midwest on Tuesday evening. Wednesday shifts the threat east into the Ohio Valley. Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, entering the active window as the pattern continues its eastward march. The storm mode on Wednesday may transition more toward a squall line, which shifts the primary threat from tornadoes to widespread damaging winds. But embedded QLCS tornadoes remain possible within the line. The Ohio Valley should not treat Wednesday as a clean day just because the Midwest has taken the brunt of Tuesday's event. Now let me pull back and give you the full picture of what this week represents. The atmospheric pattern driving this is not a temporary disruption. It is a locked-in configuration, persistent troughing on the west coast, continuously feeding disturbances eastward, Gulf moisture streaming northward to extraordinary latitudes, and a jet stream that is positioned to maximize wind shear and instability across the central United States. This is not breaking down at the end of the week. This is the new normal for April in the central United States, at least for the foreseeable multi-week period. The practical implication of that is simple. Preparedness cannot be reserved for the highest risk days and then abandoned on the lower risk days. In a pattern like this, a marginal risk can escalate to a slight risk within 12 hours as models resolve the details, and a slight risk can produce deadly storms. Know your shelter location every day this week, not just the days that appear on the calendar as dangerous. Here is your timeline. Today, Iowa, Nebraska, Texas Panhandle, Ozarks, and Western states. Marginal threat. Golf ball hail, gusty winds. Conditional tornado threat northwest of Kansas City if discrete cells form. West Coast system organizing in the desert southwest. Saturday. West Texas near Midland. Slight risk. 2-inch hail, 70-mile-per-hour winds. Storm clusters push northeast toward Oklahoma City and Abilene by evening. Sunday. Central and East Texas daytime. Scattered severe storms, hail and wind. Sunday evening. Nocturnal supercell re-spark in the Wichita through Abilene corridor. Baseball-sized hail, 70 to 80 mile-per-hour winds, tornado risk after dark. Charge your phone. Identify your shelter. Be ready before dark. Monday. Minneapolis through Des Moines. Elevated threat dependent on trough timing. Large hail, damaging winds, tornado risk. Follow the morning forecast closely for the updated threat picture. Tuesday. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. Most dangerous day. Significant tornado outbreak possible. Warm front pulling mid-60s dew points into the upper Midwest. Chicago, Milwaukee, Detroit, Columbus, all inside the threat zone. 45 million people. Warm front tornadoes with short warning times. Have your shelter plan ready before Tuesday morning. Wednesday, Ohio Valley. Squall line arrives. Damaging winds primary threat. Embedded tornadoes possible. Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky. Beyond Wednesday, pattern continues. No break in the active severe weather stretch for the foreseeable period. Stay connected to forecasts every day. We will be tracking all of it closely, every single day. See you in the next update.